Imagine a war between two mighty empires, one being the Roman Empire, where the emperors wore long robes and top hats as if preparing for a grand banquet, and the other being the Persian Empire, where the kings were resplendent with long beards like priests, looking as if they were ready to enter a longest beard in history contest. This war, although lacking in humorous jokes or fun action, is the final battle, not only for power, but also for the true cross, for pride, and of course, intense chases around the relics. The story of this war is like a blockbuster movie, with all the elements: mighty armies, fierce battles, and an empire facing an event they could not have foreseen. An event that would determine not only their future, but also the cross. The final war between the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire, fought in the late 6th and early 7th centuries, was one of the most decisive conflicts in ancient history. It was not only a territorial struggle, but also a symbolic war between the two greatest civilizations of the ancient world, with far-reaching effects on the entire Middle East, Europe, and North Africa. The war not only ended with the decline of both empires, but also paved the way for the rise of Islam and the formation of a new world under the leadership of the Arab empires. The Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, and the Sassanid Empire of Persia had a long history of conflict, with constant wars over control of strategic lands, especially in the Middle East. In the 6th century, the two empires were still fighting to maintain their influence in the region. At the time, before the outbreak of the war, the Eastern Roman Empire, under the reign of Emperor Justinian I, was experiencing a period of great expansion. Justinian I had re-established Roman control over many previously lost lands, such as North Africa, Italy, and Hispania. However, Roman expansion had strained the empire's resources. Furthermore, after Justinian's death in 565, the Eastern Roman Empire fell into disarray with a constant change of emperors and complex internal politics. The Sassanid Empire of Persia, under the rule of Khosrow Nushirvan, had a period of great renaissance. Khosrow I increased the empire's power, expanding its territory and strengthening its military, especially through the construction of defense systems and reforming the army. However, as soon as Khosrow I died in 579, the Sassanid Empire began to face internal problems, including power struggles among princes and incursions by foreign groups. The final war between the Eastern Roman Empire and the Sassanid Empire began in 602 when a coup in Persia overthrew the Eastern Roman Emperor Phocas. This event led to the enthronement of Emperor Heraclius, one of the greatest emperors of the Eastern Roman Empire. Meanwhile, the Persian Empire, under the leadership of King Khosrow II, who had returned to the throne after the coup, decided to declare war on the Eastern Roman Empire in order to further expand its territory. The war between the Eastern Roman Empire and the Sassanid Empire lasted nearly 3 decades, with fierce battles and major territorial changes. In the first phase, 602-613, the Sassanid Empire, under the command of Khosrow II, launched a major invasion of the Eastern Roman Empire. Khosrow II captured important Eastern Roman territories, including Jerusalem in 614 and the True Cross, one of the most important religious symbols of Christianity. This was a major blow to the Eastern Roman Empire and was a highlight of the early stages of the war. Heraclius's counterattack, 613-626. After stabilizing the situation in Rome, Emperor Heraclius ascended the throne in 610 and began preparations for a major counterattack. He decided to adopt a different strategy by attacking from Armenia rather than from the coastal lands. Heraclius's alliance with Armenian tribes and his fighting from the mountains allowed him to achieve important successes, including defeating the Persians in battles such as Nineveh in 627. Ultimately, Heraclius executed a brilliant counterattack, regaining lost territories and putting the Persians in a weakened position. Khosrow II, after several defeats, was overthrown in 628 and killed by his own subordinates. The fall of Khosrow II marked a crucial turning point in the war. Under the leadership of Heraclius, the Eastern Roman Empire regained its lost territories and gained strategic dominance. Although the Eastern Roman Empire won this final war, that victory could not hide the fact that both empires were severely weakened. The war devastated both empires, depleting them of resources and military strength, and reducing their political power. Important cities and regions in the Middle East were devastated, and millions of lives were lost in the fighting. One of the most striking legacies of this war was the loss of the True Cross, a sacred symbol for Christianity. And its restoration after Heraclius' victory also had profound religious significance. The True Cross is one of the most important symbols of Christianity, believed to be the cross on which Jesus was crucified. According to legend, the True Cross was discovered in Jerusalem in the 4th century by the Empress Helena, mother of Emperor Constantine. Since then, the True Cross has become a sacred symbol, especially in the Eastern and Western Christian communities. During the early stages of the war between the Eastern Roman Empire and the Persian Empire, the Persians under Khosrow II captured Jerusalem. One of the most notable acts of their victory was the capture of the True Cross. The capture of the True Cross by the Persians was not only a military booty, but also a great religious and spiritual blow to the Eastern Roman Empire. As an important symbol of Christianity, the loss of the True Cross caused a wave of indignation among the Christian community, and this event was considered a serious defeat for the Eastern Roman Empire. The True Cross was not only a symbol of religious power, but also of God's protection of the Christian kingdom. Therefore, its capture caused great spiritual and religious loss to the Eastern Roman Empire. The recovery of the True Cross became an important symbol in the ensuing war. After Emperor Heraclius ascended the throne and regained control of the lost territories, he decided to restore the True Cross in 630. In a military campaign considered a feat, Heraclius led the Eastern Roman army from Armenia, attacked Persia, and eventually defeated the army of Khosrow II. When the Eastern Romans recaptured Jerusalem and restored the True Cross, it was not only a military victory, but also a powerful symbolic religious victory, marking the restoration of the power and prestige of the Eastern Roman Empire. The restoration of the True Cross was considered a momentous event, seen as a victory for Christianity and for Emperor Heraclius. He then organized a grand procession to return the True Cross to its place in Jerusalem, bringing reconciliation and restoring faith to the empire. During the Roman-Persian War, religious elements were not only an important part of military strategy, but also stories of divine intervention and miracles. Christians believed that the war was not only worldly, but also had a divine element, and that divine intervention helped to protect the Eastern Roman Empire and bring them victory. The Emperor Heraclius was seen as a man guided by God, with many stories saying that he received divine help throughout the war. After he ascended the throne in 610, with the Eastern Roman Empire weakening, Heraclius decided to launch a bold counterattack. One of his key strategies was to attack from Armenia, where he gathered a strong force and launched attacks from the mountains, catching the Persians off guard. It is believed that divine guidance helped him achieve important victories, leading to the restoration of the True Cross. A prominent story of divine intervention in war is when the Eastern Romans won the Battle of Nineveh in 627, after facing a very powerful Persian army. Christians believed that this victory was a miracle granted by God, in part because the Persians seemed unbeatable in the early stages of the war. Khosrow II of Persia also has a special place in history and religious stories. Some legends claim that his cruelty and ambition led to his being punished by God. When Khosrow II captured Jerusalem and the True Cross, his actions were considered a great blasphemy against God and Christians. When the Eastern Romans under Heraclius finally defeated the Persians and recovered the True Cross, many believed that it was Khosrow II's punishment for his actions in seizing the relic. Religious stories say that God showed his power and justice by recovering the True Cross, defeating the Persians, and restoring the power of the Eastern Roman Empire. In addition to the True Cross, churches and statues also play an important role in the religious stories surrounding this war. During the war, Christian churches and icons were often targeted for attack and destruction by the Persian army. However, the protection and restoration of churches in the area of Jerusalem and other Christian lands was an important part of the military strategy of the Eastern Roman Empire. The Maiden Church is one of the most prominent Christian monuments in Armenia and played an important role in the context of the war between the Eastern Roman Empire and the Persian Empire. The church is located near the border between Armenia and the Persian Empire, and in the 7th century it played an important role not only in the religious life, but also as part of the military and political events of the region. The Maiden Church, built in the late 6th century, is one of the most prominent examples of Christian architecture in Armenia. The church not only has religious significance, but also serves as a symbol of the power and protection of the Eastern Roman Empire over the Christian territories of Eastern Europe and the Middle East. Armenia, as the first Christian nation in history, played a vital role in maintaining and defending the Christian faith amid conflicts with pagan empires such as Persia. During the Eastern Roman-Persian Wars, the Maiden Church became an important destination for Christians in the region, and it also played an important role in military engagements. Its strategic location near the Armenian border made the church a part of battles throughout the war. Battles in this territory were not only military in nature, but also cultural and religious in importance, with attacks and defenses aimed at protecting Christian values from foreign invasions. Although the Maiden Church played an important role in the war and religious context of this period, in the 7th century, following the Arab invasions and the decline of the Eastern Roman and Persian empires, the Maiden Church was abandoned. In the following years, the region witnessed major shifts in power and attacks by new empires, leading to the decline of many ancient monuments, including the Maiden Church. Despite its abandonment, the Maiden Church remains an important heritage site, representing a crucial period in the religious and military history of Armenia and the Middle East. The remains of the church are still preserved today and are a destination for researchers and Christians, as a symbol of a bygone era and an integral part of the story of the war between the Eastern Roman Empire and Persia. The war between the Eastern Roman Empire and the Sassanid Empire was not the end of the conflicts in the Middle East, but it was an important transition that led to the rise of the Arab Islamic Empire. While these two empires were still in a weakened state, the Arab tribes, under the leadership of the Prophet Muhammad and his successors, began to expand their territories and form a powerful Islamic empire. Soon after Emperor Heraclius won the war with Persia, the Arab invasions began in the 630s, defeating both the Eastern Roman Empire and the Sassanid Empire. The Arab conquest of the vast lands of these two empires marked the end of the ancient world and the transition of power to a new era. Islam not only replaced the ancient religions, but also created a new civilization, deeply influencing the entire region from Western Europe to India. The final war between the Eastern Roman Empire and the Persian Empire was not just a conventional military conflict, but also the end of a great era in ancient history. Although the Eastern Romans won, the war weakened both empires, paving the way for the rise of the Arab and Islamic empires. This war marked the end of the ancient world and ushered in a new era of turmoil and change.